Chapter 2018. Hearing this, Du Xiaofu raised his eyebrows. What Master Hualei said made sense. Once those demon emperors recovered, the first one they would come for would be him. Du Xiaofu knew how strong those demon emperors were. Most importantly, Du Xiaofu wasn't worried about himself, but that his master was still in the hands of the devil religion. His master's whereabouts were still unknown. However, from the 3,000 thunder spirit seed in his mind, Du Xiaofu felt that his master's life wasn't in danger. However, once those demon emperors recovered, the chances of them saving his master would be as high as the heavens. After a while, Du Xiaofu narrowed his eyes and asked Master Hualei, "Senior, if you want to enter my body, you need the help of my thunder spirit vein and spirit thunder. How can I trust you? After all, one must always be on guard. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done it long ago. Why would I wait until now?" Master Hualei said to Du Xiaofu. Du Xiaofu pondered. After a few breaths, he looked at Master Hualei and said seriously, "I can do this deal, but Senior has to promise me 3 things. Otherwise, we'll just go our separate ways." Speak. Master Hualei stared at Du Xiaofu. He felt very wronged. "First, after Senior recovers, you have to fulfill your promise and help me find the whereabouts of the other spirit thunder. You even have to help me merge with those spirit thunders." Du Xiaofu said. The temptation of spirit thunder was hard for Du Xiaofu to refuse. It was also a shortcut to increasing his strength. Of course, this saint will keep his promise. Master Hualei didn't hesitate and nodded to Du Xiaofu. This was what he had agreed to. "Second, after Senior recovers, you have to help me do 2 things. I believe these 2 things won't be too difficult for Senior," Du Xiaofu said. Master Hualei stared at Du Xiaofu. This kid was clearly trying to take advantage of the situation. Master Hualei was being threatened by a junior. If word of this got out, he wouldn't have any face left. The corner of Master Hualei's eyes twitched. He was very depressed, but he still endured it. Right now, he had a favor to ask. Who asked this brat to have the Thunder Martial vein? There were also a few spiritual thunders that he needed to recover. "Alright, I agree. But let me warn you, kid. When the time comes, if I can do it, I will do it for you. If you dare to make things difficult for me, don't blame me for being impolite." Master Hualei glared at Du Xiaofu. Du Xiaofu continued, "Third, Senior, swear to the heavens that once you enter my body, you will not do anything to harm me. If you go against your oath, you will be struck by lightning. You will not be able to escape the heavenly tribulation." The longer a living being cultivated, the deeper their understanding of the heavenly Tao, and the more they respected the heavenly Tao. Most people wouldn't dare to go against an oath to the heavenly Tao. The risk of being struck by a heavenly tribulation was no joke. "Brat, are you threatening me?" Master Hualei finally couldn't take it anymore. Even in the ancient times, when hundreds of schools were fighting, no one dared to disrespect him. However, this brat didn't put him in his eyes at all. "I don't dare, but this is a trade. A trade must be fair, just, and there must be guarantees for both parties. I can trust that Senior will fulfill your promise after you recover, but shouldn't Senior also guarantee my safety and make me trust you? If Senior can't make the oath, then let's go our separate ways." Du Xiaofu looked at Master Hualei with a firm gaze. Under the premise of everything, Du Xiaofu hoped that he could protect himself first. Otherwise, everything would be empty talk. What Master Hualei said was true. If he had any bad intentions, Du Xiaofu could have done it already. However, Du Xiaofu didn't completely believe him. One must always be on guard against others. Even his own uncle wanted to dig out his heart, let alone someone he had just met. Good, there will be a time when you beg me in the future." Master Hualei's face turned red from anger. After saying "good" twice, he stared at Du Xiaofu and said, "Master Hualei, swear that I have no ill intentions towards this brat. Otherwise, I will be struck by heavenly tribulation and be struck by heavenly thunder." Du Xiaofu smiled. He looked at Master Hualei with an embarrassed smile and said, "Senior is too polite. This brat just wants to have some guarantees. Please forgive me." Master Hualei snorted and stared at Du Xiaofu. "I will enter your brain. Don't try to stop me, or else you will have to bear the consequences. As soon as he finished speaking, Master Hua Lei's figure disappeared. At the same time, the crystal-clear red and blue flame fluctuated and turned into a red and blue arc of lightning. It directly flew towards Du Xiaofu's forehead. Like water falling into mud, it disappeared from Du Xiaofu's forehead. Du Xiaofu didn't try to stop it, but he was instinctively on guard. He allowed the red and blue flame to enter his brain and enter his brain. So hot. When the red and blue flame rushed into his brain, it was accompanied by a terrifying heat that spread throughout Du Xiaofu's brain. The scorching aura caused Du Xiaofu's soul to tremble on the 9 revolutions divine thunder lotus. Immediately, silver-gold arcs of lightning appeared along with starlight. Qi, the crimson-blue flame surged into Du Xiaofu's Naiwen palace, like a crystal-clear crimson-blue jade. Is this a primordial spirit or a pulse spirit? Master Hua Lei's illusory figure appeared on the red and blue flame once again. He looked at Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit's red horse monkey body with a surprised expression. He had already seen Du Xiaofu's red horse monkey body, but this was the first time he felt something strange about it. However, Master Hua Lei was only surprised for a moment before returning to normal. He had traveled through the ancient times and had seen too many primordial geniuses and supreme geniuses. Any one of them was extraordinary. All right, kid, I need the power of your spiritual thunder and thunder martial vein to recover. Don't be nervous, I know what to do. As soon as he finished speaking, Master Hua Lei's illusory figure quietly disappeared. Walala! At this moment, a red and blue flame rose from Du Xiaofu's body. It was accompanied by an arc of lightning that spread throughout his body. When the flame and arc of lightning appeared, the thunder martial vein in Du Xiaofu's body immediately surged. It was unable to resist the invisible force. A wave of killing intent surged, and thunder rumbled. At the same time, the red and blue flame in Du Xiaofu's Naiwen palace also spread. Strands of red and blue flame fluctuated towards the red horse monkey's body and attracted the spiritual thunder for no reason. Boom! Inside the Naiwen palace, there was an arc of lightning. On Du Xiaofu's body, the purple talisman runes shone brightly. The thunder martial vein was activated, causing lightning to flash and thunder to rumble in the cave. Under such a change, Du Xiaofu immediately felt that the thunder martial vein in his body and the spiritual thunder in the red horse monkey's body in his Naiwen palace were being devoured. Chapter 2019. Even the Xian Qi in Du Xiaofu's spirit gate was strangely disappearing. Along with the power of the thunder martial vein and spirit lightning, the Xian Qi continuously surged into the scarlet blue flames. The devouring power was formless and enormous, making it impossible for Du Xiaofu to resist. At this moment, even the thunder martial vein and spirit lightning in his body were no longer under Du Xiaofu's control. Not good, Du Xiaofu broke out in a cold sweat. Under the influence of the scarlet blue flames, the thunder martial vein and spirit lightning were no longer under his control. Energy continuously surged into the scarlet blue flames, and a large amount of the Xian Qi in the spirit gate was also disappearing. Du Xiaofu wanted to stop it, but he didn't know where to start. The scarlet blue flames seemed to have merged with the thunder martial vein and spirit lightning. Senior, what are you trying to do? Du Xiaofu was shocked, and his mind asked in his Naiwen palace. Don't worry, it won't take your life. It's just that this saint is extremely weak and needs some energy. I didn't think that your primordial spirit and Xian Qi would be so large. It's really inconceivable. Master Hua Lei's voice came from the mysterious scarlet blue flames. No, it's not good for me if you continue to devour like this. If you continue, we'll immediately cancel this deal. Du Xiaofu refused without hesitation. The energy in the spirit lightning and thunder martial vein was quickly disappearing. What made Du Xiaofu feel the most was the Xian Qi in the spirit gate. At this moment, it was like a torrential flood that was quickly disappearing. This speed was too fast, so fast that it made Du Xiaofu uneasy. This was the heavenly devil battlefield. If he was extremely weak, he wouldn't even have the ability to protect himself. If that was the case, Du Xiaofu didn't want to make this deal. Brat, it's not up to you now, Master Hua Lei said. Master Hualei opened his mouth. The red and blue flames around him completely ignored Du Xiaofu. He was sullen at the start, and now he had a belly full of anger. Now that this brat had no choice, he could use this chance to teach him a lesson. As soon as Master Hualei finished speaking, Du Xiaofu clearly felt the devouring power increase instead of decreasing. The energy in the thunder martial vein and spirit thunder, as well as the profound qi in the god's watchtower, were all disappearing even faster. Fire lightning seed, our deal is cancelled. Cancel it immediately. Du Xiaofu shouted. It's not up to you to decide. Master Hualei didn't plan on paying attention to Du Xiaofu at all. If it wasn't for the fact that he was extremely weak and was afraid of the godly thunder cauldron, he would have killed this brat a long time ago. At this moment, he didn't want to pay attention to this brat at all. Fire lightning, you old bastard. Du Xiaofu cursed. As expected, he had been tricked. He used all of his strength to activate the thunder martial vein and primordial spirit. He wanted to break free from the invisible devouring power and expel the mysterious red and blue flames from his Naiwan palace. Bastard brat, it seems like if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know that I'm your ancestor. Master Hualei said angrily. The mysterious red and blue flames flickered, and the invisible devouring power increased once again. Master Hualei, you old bastard, you still want to pretend to be my ancestor? I'm not done with you. Du Xiaofu cursed. However, no matter how hard he tried, even if he used the golden-winged rock clan's cultivation technique, it was useless. He couldn't break free from Master Hualei's invisible devouring power. The profound qi, thunder martial vein, and spirit thunder in his primordial spirit were getting weaker and weaker. The thunder martial vein and spirit thunder seemed to have no effect on the mysterious red and blue flames. They even seemed to want to merge into one. This made Du Xiaofu even more worried and vigilant. Brat, give up. You can't stop me. Master Hualei's voice echoed in Du Xiaofu's Naiwan palace. At this moment, he had already entered the brat's Naiwan palace. Everything was under his control. Old bastard, do you really think that I can't do anything to you? Du Xiaofu shouted. In his palm, a purple and gold streamer jumped out. The purple thunder profound cauldron immediately flew out. Although it couldn't resist the invisible devouring power, the purple thunder profound cauldron could still be activated. Brat, what do you want to do? Master Hualei felt the purple thunder profound cauldron's aura and was astonished. You'll know soon. Du Xiaofu shouted. With a thought, the purple thunder profound cauldron suddenly expanded and rotated. Du Xiaofu's figure directly flew into the purple thunder profound cauldron. Rumble. When Du Xiaofu's figure appeared again, he was already in the space inside the purple thunder profound cauldron. Purple thunderclouds rolled and thunder rumbled. Electric arcs flashed. Then, amidst the rumbling of thunder, the electric arcs condensed into thunderbolts and fell like a rainstorm. Du Xiaofu did not use the immortal Xian body and allowed the purple thunder profound cauldron to hit his body. Zalala. As the thunderbolts fell, Du Xiaofu's body overflowed with electric arcs and merged with the thunder martial vein. However, most of the thunderbolts were destructive and damaged his body. Du Xiaofu's body had already attained the immortal Xian body. Although he didn't resist, his body had already developed an immunity against the purple thunder profound cauldron. He was only damaged by the purple thunder profound cauldron. However, there was a limit to this kind of damage. The endless purple gold profound thunder bombarded Du Xiaofu's body like a giant snake, bringing with it a destructive power. Not long after, Du Xiaofu's body began to be seriously damaged and ruptured. Although Du Xiaofu had experienced such an impact once, he still couldn't bear it and shouted out loud. The pain was unbearable. Bang bang. Thunder rumbled and Du Xiaofu cried out in pain. His body was constantly cracking and gradually becoming a bloody mess under the thunderbolts. Brat, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill yourself? Master Hualei was shocked. Everything outside naturally couldn't escape his prying eyes. This brat actually put himself inside the divine thunder cauldron and attacked him. Was he looking for death? If this brat really died, then he would be in big trouble inside the divine thunder cauldron. Although this was only one of the 9 divine thunder cauldrons, his current situation was really troublesome. I'm not sure if I'll die or not, but I'd like to see how long you can hide. Du Xiaofu shouted coldly. The purple gold profound cauldron continued to explode. His body was already badly mutilated and wrapped in purple electric arcs. The purple gold heavenly palace, illusion saber formation, ancient desolate space and 9 revolutions divine Lei Lian were also exposed outside. Brat, bastard, you better stop right now. Master Hualei cursed. At this moment, Du Xiaofu was badly mutilated and he couldn't escape. The terrifying purple gold profound cauldron also affected him greatly. Master Hualei, if you don't want to come out, then let's continue. Du Xiaofu cursed. His voice came from his primordial spirit. Although he was in a terrible state and the pain was unbearable, at least Master Hualei was greatly affected. At least, the devouring power in his body had disappeared. The end of the heavenly devil battlefield has caused me to be stuck for 2 days. Today there is only one update. Please forgive me. Chapter 2020. Du Xiaofu guessed that Master Hualei was indeed afraid of the godly thunder cauldron. Kid, you better stop. Do you think you can defeat me like this? Ha, you underestimate me too much. Master Hualei suddenly laughed. The thunder martial vein and spiritual thunder were too useful to him. He didn't believe that this kid would really commit suicide. There must be something strange about him that made him not afraid of the godly thunder cauldron. He just wanted to force him out. Chi-la. As soon as he finished speaking, the cluster of red and blue flames suddenly turned into countless red and blue sparks that bloomed like fireworks. In an extremely strange way, they directly merged with the spiritual thunder in Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit and disappeared. The purple gold profound thunder roared and crackled. Bolts of purple gold profound thunder landed on Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit, but they couldn't affect the red and blue flames at all. Du Xiaofu wanted to expel the red and blue flames from his primordial spirit, but there was nothing he could do. Give up. Be honest and don't suffer too much. Master Hualei's voice came from Du Xiaofu's spiritual thunder in his primordial spirit. Victory was in his hands, and he had already entered this kid's spiritual thunder. How could this kid not be obedient? Du Xiaofu was helpless and could only give up. He calmed the purple thunder cauldron with his mind. His mangled body was then covered in a purple and gold light, and in a strange way, it directly recovered. He was naked, and his body was covered in a purple and gold color. His face was pale. So strange, Master Hualei was shocked. Du Xiaofu's recovery couldn't escape his eyes. This was too strange. His body was damaged to such an extent, but at this moment, it was as if there was no damage at all. Standing in the purple thunder cauldron, Du Xiaofu's eyes were serious. He had used all his methods, but there was nothing he could do. Brat, now you'll be honest. You can't beat this saint. Master Hualei laughed. The red and blue sparks in Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit condensed into a red and blue flame. It was about to step out of Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit and continue to devour Du Xiaofu's spirit thunder and thunder martial vein. Du Xiaofu didn't say anything. Suddenly, he sat down cross-legged within the purple gold profound bomb, formed a seal with his hands, and muttered something. The Tao of heaven and earth uses yin and yang to create all things. Heaven and earth, sun and moon, thunder and lightning, wind and rain, for seasons, male and female, hard and soft, movement and stillness. All things are divided into yin and yang. As Du Xiaofu muttered something, a dazzling ray of light burst out from within his soul. The mysterious runes of talismans gushed out like a tide, dazzling and dazzling like the sun. The dazzling light that spread out instantly wrapped around the red and blue flame that was about to step out of Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit. A strange force immediately separated the red and blue flame from the primordial spirit. This strange change caused Master Hualei to let out a surprised exclamation. He was very surprised. As Master Hualei paused for a short moment, the dazzling mysterious runes shone like a divine light. The mysterious runes flashed and turned into a series of unfamiliar characters. It was like a net of light that enveloped the red and blue flame. The unfamiliar characters were like ancient runes that bloomed like fireworks and wrapped around the red and blue flame. The heavens and earth see people as mayflies, and the heavens and earth see the heavens and earth as bubbles. Only the true nature of the primordial spirit surpasses the essence of the primordial spirit. The essence of the primordial spirit dissipates along with the heavens and earth. However, as long as the primordial spirit exists, it is limitless. It is born from the heavens and earth. This voice was like the sound of the heavens as it echoed around the red and blue flame. There was a large amount of energy from the heavens and earth that contained an ancient pressure. It also contained a terrifying devouring force that devoured the red and blue flame. This devouring force wasn't too fierce, but it was vast and powerful. It was as if it was a natural counter to the red and blue flame. "Brat, what are you doing?" Master Hualei's voice changed. For the first time, he was shocked. This pressure made him feel uneasy for no reason. He couldn't break free from the mysterious net of light, as if he was being restrained for no reason. Du Xiaofu ignored Master Hualei and sat down like an old monk inside the purple thunder Xian furnace. He continued to mutter, "If you want to see the primordial spirit, you must first see the light of the primordial spirit. This light is the light of the true primordial spirit. Without light, it is difficult to find the true primordial spirit." At this moment, Du Xiaofu activated the mysterious incomplete cultivation method in his mind. When he was refining the thunder inside his body, he had the help of the mysterious incomplete cultivation method. At this moment, Du Xiaofu thought of the mysterious incomplete cultivation method. He didn't think it would actually be effective. With the activation of this mysterious cultivation method, Du Xiaofu could clearly feel that the scarlet blue flame was being directly restrained in his Yuan spirit. There was even a huge devouring power contained in the crude runes that wanted to devour and refine the scarlet blue flame. Du Xiaofu rejoiced in his heart as the mysterious incomplete cultivation method worked. He kept chanting, and the unfamiliar characters seemed to come to life, constantly suppressing, binding, and swallowing the red and blue flames. "Little brats, stop." Master Hualei's voice was filled with waves. A blazing destructive force spread out to resist the devouring force of the mysterious incomplete cultivation method. That blazing destructive force once again caused Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit to feel unbearable pain. It was as if his mind was about to be torn apart and burned. "If you come out, I will naturally stop." Du Xiaofu clenched his teeth. It was not easy for it to work, so he naturally wouldn't let it go. He used all of his strength to activate the mysterious incomplete cultivation method. "Little brat, you want both of us to be injured and die together?" Master Hualei shouted. The red and blue flame continued to burn. It carried with it an arc of lightning and a destructive aura. However, at this moment, the mysterious characters were like thunder. They contained a powerful pressure that suppressed the red and blue flame. The two of them were in a stalemate. No one could gain the upper hand. If this continued, both of them would be injured. "Both of us will be injured. Even if both of us die together, I won't let you do as you wish." Du Xiaofu didn't plan on stopping. Instead of being threatened by Master Hualei, it was better for both of them to be injured. He didn't trust Master Hualei anymore. "What kind of cultivation method is this? You little bastard." Master Hualei's voice was like thunder. He was also scared and shocked. The mysterious characters seemed to be some kind of cultivation method that made him feel uneasy. And this little brat was being so cruel to him. It was as if he had already made up his mind. He didn't care if both of them were injured. Master Hualei didn't doubt Du Xiaofu's determination. That little brat could even attack him, so what couldn't he do? Chapter 2021. Brats, stop. Let's discuss this. Hualei said. If this continued, both sides would suffer. He was very weak right now and couldn't take it. This brat had the thunder vein, so he couldn't let anything happen to him. "Come out. Our deal is off. From now on, we won't interfere with each other's business." Du Xiaofu said. "That's impossible. This saint needs your thunder vein and spirit thunder to recover. However, I can guarantee that I will control it and not let you become too weak," Hualei said. He couldn't back down on this point. He didn't plan to let Du Xiaofu become too weak. He just wanted to take the opportunity to vent his anger. However, he didn't expect this brat to be so ruthless to him in the end. "I won't believe you again," Du Xiaofu shouted. Hua Lei was too cunning. He wouldn't be fooled again. "You have no choice. You have no other choice. I said that I would try my best not to let you be too weak, so I won't make things difficult for you. If you die, it won't do me any good. I can feel that the seal outside the Heavenly Devil battlefield is getting weaker and weaker. I'm afraid that the real Saint Realm cultivators will be able to enter soon. If I recover quickly, I can more or less lend you a hand when you are in danger. Otherwise, with your current cultivation and strength, you are invincible under the Saint Realm, but if you encounter the Saint Realm cultivators of the Devil sect, you will definitely be doomed." Hua Lei continued to speak in Du Xiaofu's primordial spirit. "I already swore that I won't do you any harm. It's up to you to believe me or not. If you don't want to believe me, then we'll both die together." Hua Lei was very depressed. How did he meet such a troublesome brat? Tens of thousands of years ago, he swept through the Kyushu's 3 continents and 1 realm. Who didn't treat him with respect? He had never met such a brat. Du Xiaofu pondered. Hua Lei was too mysterious and terrifying. However, he didn't seem to have any ill intentions towards him. At least what he said was right. If he died, it wouldn't do him any good. As for the real mutual destruction of both sides, Du Xiaofu didn't want to take that step until the very last moment. What Master Hua Lei had said was that he could help Du Xiaofu when he encountered a Saint Realm expert. This was definitely a great temptation for Du Xiaofu in the Heavenly Devil battlefield. At least he would have the power to protect himself. "Okay, it's a deal." After pondering and thinking, Du Xiaofu he nodded. "Hua Lei, if you dare to go back on Lei's, then we will both." Little Hua Lei Hua. After a while, Du Xiaofu and Hua Lei came to an agreement. Hua Lei stayed in Du Xiaofu's Naiwen Palace and devoured the energy from the Thunder Vein and Spirit Thunder. He also devoured the Xian Qi from the Spirit Watchtower. However, his speed was already very slow. It was just enough for Du Xiaofu to endure. Du Xiaofu took out a lot of precious medicines from his cosmos bag and stuffed them into his mouth. He used the Golden Winged Rock Clan's technique to refine and replenish his energy. Du Xiaofu was already severely injured before he fainted. The torment from before and Hua Lei was devouring made him extremely weak. How strange. You are clearly a human, but you can cultivate the Golden Winged Rock Clan's technique. Your body seems to be even stronger than a real Golden Winged Rock. Unbelievable. Hua Lei's voice came out from Du Xiaofu's Naiwen Palace. Back then, those supreme geniuses from the ancient era were all stronger and stranger than the last. However, he wasn't as shocked as he was now. Du Xiaofu ignored Hua Lei and sat down cross-legged to refine the precious medicines in his body. The vast plain was boundless. The sky was dark, and it was shrouded in an oppressive aura. On the plain, there was a huge mountain that stood tall like a giant tomb. It was grand and magnificent, like a hibernating giant beast. Looking at it from afar, it made people's hearts feel oppressed. Rumble. Suddenly, cracks spread out from the edges of the giant tomb. Light overflowed and rushed into the sky, causing the ground to tremble. The seal is finally about to open. The inheritance treasure is about to appear. Countless living beings in the surroundings immediately became excited and trembled because of this. This was a secret place in the Heavenly Devil battlefield. They had come here for the ancient and dazzling treasures. At this moment, the secret place was finally about to open. In an instant, the surroundings of the giant mountain became noisy. None of the creatures could sit still. Their eyes shone brightly as they held ice blades in their hands. Their auras were surging. They were ready to charge at the strongest at any time to fight for the ancient and dazzling inheritance and treasure. Many experts began to appear, their auras vigorous. Many elders of the major forces flew into the sky, waiting for the best opportunity. Many beast race magnates were entrenched in the void. On a huge rock, a golden-clothed man whose facial features were as handsome as if they were carved by a knife was looking in the direction of the huge mountain. The corners of his lips, which always carried a hint of a wanton smile, were slightly frowning at this moment. His pair of bright golden eyes were slightly focused. Beside the young man in golden clothes, a woman stood. She was wearing a bright red silk dress that trailed on the ground. Her beautiful black hair was tied up with a few bright red hair ribbons. Her figure was beautiful. She looked at the giant mountain in front of her and said softly to the young man in golden clothes, "Something seems wrong. Phantom, be careful. There's demonic aura." The man in golden clothes said. His long golden hair draped over his shoulders. His body was thin and tall, and his skin was crystal clear. It seemed to be emitting a faint golden luster. His whole body was emitting a majestic aura. "Could it be that you, Du Xiaoyao, can't see what's inside?" The woman smiled slightly. Her smile was as elegant and clear as a budding lotus, but there was a hint of charm in it. She said to the man in golden clothes, "I can't see through it. It's very strange." The man in golden clothes shook his head. His golden eyes were deep and emitted a faint golden light. However, he couldn't see through the giant mountain in front of him. Rumble! The cracks in the ground around the giant mountain continued to expand, and the light became more and more dazzling. Rumbling sounds continued to be heard, as if some supreme being was awakening, causing heaven and earth to resonate. "Are you still trying to trap me?" Suddenly, a thunderous voice sounded from within the giant mountain. Along with the sound waves, demonic aura surged into the sky. "Suppress!" Inside the giant mountain, light filled the sky. An ancient voice sounded, and a supreme power seemed to have transcended time and space to descend. "Fire Demon Envoy, Ice Demon Envoy, I've come to lend the 8 Demon Emperor a hand." Monstrous demonic aura descended, seeping out from the void. 2 figures tore through space and arrived. A scorching hot aura and a chilling cold aura descended from the void at the same time. The undying and indestructible realm was already very powerful. Just now, the Fire Demon Envoy was at a disadvantage, so he had to be careful. Boom! The Ice Demon Emissary made his move. Frosty aura shot up into the sky and froze the void. White frost rose thousands of feet high, drowning the void and freezing everything. It extended toward the golden-robed man. Under such a cold aura, quite a few of the creatures who had already retreated were affected again. Frost hung from their hair, and some of their faces turned pale, their bodies trembling. This kind of cold energy came from the inside out, freezing the primordial spirit. It couldn't be removed. The 1,000-feet-tall ice energy froze the void and swept over. Boom! The golden-clothed man did not retreat. Instead, he advanced. Golden light burst out from his body and golden talisman runes filled the sky. In an instant, his body turned into a golden ape that was 1,000 feet tall and appeared. Redbone horse monkey, he is the desolate country's Du Xiaoyao. Such a redbone horse monkey in the sky immediately caused a series of exclamations. Roar! The redbone horse monkey roared. His aura was full of vitality, and an endless amount of dazzling light erupted. The power seemed to be able to suppress and destroy the surrounding space, giving people the feeling of the beginning of the world. Rumble! This was the redbone horse monkey. Wherever his figure passed, the 1,000-feet-tall ice energy directly shattered amidst the rumbling of the void. His huge figure pounced forward, and a fist came crashing down. Ice Demon Seal. The Ice Demon Envoy's expression changed drastically. He formed a hand seal, and ice raged, turning into a huge ice hand seal. Oh! Demonic aura surged, and there were layers of demonic shadows. Ghostly wails could be heard from the hand seal, as if countless demonic creatures were about to pounce out. Swoosh swoosh, the two collided, and golden light surged. Countless ice crystals shot out in all directions like meteorites. The Ice Demon Envoy's body was knocked back, and his eyes were filled with shock. Du Xiaoyao's huge redbone horse monkey body towered in front of the huge mountain. Golden light shone brightly, and his spiritual eyes looked down, wanting to stop the devil religion. The desolate country's redbone horse monkey. The Fire Demon Envoy, who had just been knocked back, stepped forward and looked at the redbone horse monkey's body. His expression changed. He had long heard that the desolate country had a redbone horse monkey, and that it was a terrifying creature in the legends. The red-bone horse monkey actually exists. The ice demon envoy's figure swept forward, and the icy energy gathered again, as if it had covered his body, turning into a 100-feet-tall ice giant. Along with the demonic aura, there was a saintly aura descending. Let's end this quickly. Don't make any mistakes. At the same time, the flames and demonic aura around the fire demon envoy surged. His body expanded, and in the blink of an eye, he turned into a demonic fire giant. The flames around him roared, and the demonic aura fluctuated. Under the terrifying pressure, it made the souls of living beings tremble. Boom! The ice demon envoy and the fire demon envoy reached an agreement. The two of them swept out at the same time. One was cold, the other was hot. They did not hold back their sage-to-be aura, and they wanted to finish off Du Xiaoyao with lightning speed. The two of them joined forces. The two of them were sage-to-be experts, and they brought with them a terrifying pressure. The demonic aura filled the sky, and the heavens and earth rumbled. Rumble! The sound of the heavens resounded, and it lingered on. At that moment, 10 divine rings appeared behind Du Xiaoyao's 100-feet-tall red-bone horse monkey. They brought with them an imposing pressure, and they brought with them a supreme divine aura. They immediately clashed with the ice demon envoy and the fire demon envoy, and the three of them clashed fiercely. Everyone was shocked. Those three figures were too frightening. The energy shockwaves that swept out made their hair stand on end. Once they were affected, their bodies would probably be crushed immediately. Roar! Du Xiaoyao roared, and with the support of the Great Circle Supreme Being aura, he was like a divine ape in the sky. His movements were as fast as lightning, and he constantly clashed with the fire demon envoy and the ice demon envoy. However, it didn't take long for Du Xiaoyao to be suppressed and at a disadvantage. After all, they were sage-to-be experts from the devil religion. Du Xiaoyao wasn't able to gain any advantage. However, Du Xiaoyao wasn't in a difficult situation even though he was fighting against two people. With his abnormal body and various talents, the ice demon envoy and the fire demon envoy couldn't do anything to him. On the contrary, the ice demon envoy and the fire demon envoy were getting more and more shocked. The two of them joined forces, but they couldn't do anything to the red-bone horse monkey. How could they not be shocked? Rumble! A muffled explosion resounded. Under the impact of the demonic aura, the swaying giant mountain finally couldn't resist and cracked. Endless demonic aura gushed out, and giant rocks soared into the sky. It's time to end everything. The giant mountain collapsed, and the earth shook. The demonic aura soared and covered the sky. It shook the universe, and a giant demonic figure appeared in the void. The creatures in the surroundings were frightened, and their expressions changed greatly. This secret land with the inheritance of a treasure actually sealed an evil demon. Chapter 2023. The demonic shadow's eyes were like black holes as he looked at Du Xiaoyao, staring at the symbol of inaction nirvana behind Du Xiaoyao's back. Let's go! But it was only for a moment. The demonic shadow turned around and looked at the shattered mountain. Then, his huge figure disappeared into the void. The fire demon envoy and the ice demon envoy who were attacking Du Xiaoyao also left in an instant. Du Xiaoyao looked at the demonic shadow, the fire demon envoy, and the earth demon envoy who left. Her eyes were serious. In the vast waters, there was a huge island that stretched across the surface of the water. Reefs were clustered around the island in clusters. On the reefs, a figure appeared. His aura was soaring. Whoosh! No one knew when it started, but the water surface was undulating. The waves were getting more and more intense. Rumble! In the waters, the rumbling sounds were endless. The island shook as if something was about to rush out from the depths of the waters. A treasure is about to appear. Everyone, get ready. Pairs of eyes were red. The crowd was excited as they stared at the shaking island. There's demonic aura. Something's wrong. On top of a huge reef, a woman's eyebrows were slightly furrowed. Her delicate face had changed color. She wore a light green dress that accentuated her slender waist. 2 strands of glossy black hair gently brushed against her cheeks. Her skin was smooth and moist like warm jade. Her cherry lips were red without any lipstick, adding to her allure. Demonic aura. Could it be the devil religion? A heavenly voice came from a woman in a purple dress. Her purple dress was fluttering in the air. There were purple flames on it, outlining her seductive figure. She was like a fairy who didn't belong to the mortal world. At this moment, there was a little girl who appeared to be around 10 years old in front of these two women. Her tender face had a pair of eyes that did not match those of her age group. They were bewitching and noble. She stared intently at the trembling island and said to the two women beside her, "Mother, both of you should be careful." "Sister Xingxing, what's wrong?" Behind the two women, a little girl of 4 or 5 years old came out from between the two women. She was very young, and her voice was still childish, but there was a kind of beauty between her brows that surpassed her age. Under her long eyelashes, there was a pair of beautiful big eyes that made one's heart palpitate. They were lively and spirited, and they were looking forward curiously. "Little girl, you be careful too. Don't run around." She patted the little girl's forehead. Her skirt was surrounded by patterns of stars, and a faint golden light shone in the depths of her eyes, which were already showing signs of being a beauty. Rumble. As soon as the little girl finished speaking, the ground beneath the island shook, and the water surged like a tsunami. Demonic chi shot into the sky. "Seventh demon, it's not that easy to get out of here." An ancient voice rang out from the bottom of the island. Light soared into the sky, and dense talisman runes wrapped around the island, forming a mysterious net of light. An ancient aura seemed to have traveled through time and space, descending and spreading across time and space. Chi-la. Above the void, two cracks seemed to have been torn open, and two figures came out from the void. One was a middle-aged man in a gray robe with a hood that covered most of his face. There was a violent wind around him that surged with demonic chi. The other was a middle-aged man with short hair. His body was hazy and shrouded in demonic chi. Lightning flashed through his eyes, and it was as if lightning was shooting out from his eyes. It was a heart-palpitating sight. When these two figures appeared, the heart-palpitating aura made the hearts of all the creatures in the water tremble. Their souls suddenly trembled. People from the devil religion. They are half-saints. The woman who spoke first raised her head. Her eyes were filled with starlight, and her dress was fluttering. Mysterious runes surged and shrouded her graceful and slender body. She was Qi Yi, and the beautiful woman in the purple dress and the little girl beside her were Zixuan and little Xingxing. Rumble! When the two middle-aged men appeared, a terrifying energy attack swept out and immediately swept towards the shaking island. The rumbling sound was accompanied by a monstrous rumble. Demonic chi surged, and evil aura whistled. Lightning flashed, and the island trembled violently. The light net dimmed. The devil religion seems to want to break the seal. They want to save someone. We can't let them do as they wish. A slightly childish voice came from little Xingxing's mouth. The little figure had already soared into the sky, and his little fist blasted towards the middle-aged man who was wrapped in lightning. The golden flame in front of the fist burned the void. The middle-aged man was surprised, but then his eyes were filled with killing intent. He shook his arm, and his fist was wrapped in demonic thunder. Lightning gathered and collided directly. Bang! A dull sound spread. The space where the fists collided shattered inch by inch. The golden flame and lightning swept in all directions. The middle-aged man's figure was directly pushed back, and his expression changed drastically. Pain and burning pain came from his fist. The flame on the little fist made him afraid, and the defense was astonishing. Little Xingxing's little figure was also pushed back, but he steadied himself after 2 steps. The little figure then continued to pounce on the middle-aged man like lightning. "You're courting death." The middle-aged man was furious. With his status in the devil religion, he actually suffered a loss at the hands of a little girl. This was intolerable. He formed a hand seal, and a monstrous demonic chi and lightning swept out like a storm. The demonic chi was monstrous, and lightning arcs raged. In an instant, it seemed to have turned into a sea of lightning in the void. The demonic chi billowed and blocked little Xingxing. "Little Xingxing, be careful!" Qi Yishi shouted. At the same time, the light on her body surged. Her beautiful figure carried an extraordinary holiness as she pounced on the middle-aged man with long black hair. Her wrist was white, and a hand seal was shot out from her palm. There were talisman runes surging out from this handprint, bringing with it a vast aura that blotted out the sky and covered the earth. This person is already a half-saint. Let's work together to deal with him, Zixin said. Her beautiful figure followed behind Qiyishi. Her delicate hand was wrapped in purple flames, and the blazing purple flames erupted like purple lava. The monstrous purple flames surged like a sea of fire, twisting the space and crushing the black-haired middle-aged man with Qiyishi. You're not enough. The black-haired middle-aged man was about to continue bombarding the island seal, but he turned back. A cold light filled his eyes, and a gust of wind accompanied by demonic qi formed an evil aura that shook the world. It was as if a demonic realm had been opened. Demonic qi erupted, and the evil aura surged toward the two women. Dang dang! In the storm, Qiyishi and Zixin were pushed back at the same time. A half-saint is too strong. Let's work together to deal with him. A graceful woman traversed the void and appeared beside Qiyishi and Zixin. She was extremely beautiful, and her face was as smooth as the autumn water. She was so refined that there was not a trace of the mortal world. She was Huang Linger of the Phoenix clan. Chapter 2024. Us too. Following behind Huang Ling, three figures flashed out together. They were two women and one man. The woman had willowy eyebrows and a snowy face. Her red clothes outlined her sexy figure, and she wore a cloak of the same color. She looked noble and valiant. The man had a handsome face, and his eyes were filled with five-colored light. His red hair fell over his shoulders, and he stood tall and straight under his battle robe. He looked extraordinary. Beside the man in battle robes, there was another man in a long robe. He stood there quietly, as if his body could emit an invisible light that made it impossible for people to ignore him. If Du Xiaofu was here, he would definitely be able to recognize these three people. They were Feng Wu, Feng Chu, and Feng Han of the Phoenix clan. Ao! A dragon roar resounded. Not far away, in the sea of lightning, little Xingxing transformed into his true form. His entire body was pure gold, and his 100-foot wings were like phoenix wings. Blazing flames spread out, and starlight flowed on his dragon scales. Accompanied by the domineering aura of the golden-winged rock clan and a terrifying supreme aura, it swept through the sky, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. This kind of pure gold dragon crossed the void, not afraid of the waves of the sea of lightning at all. It crossed over, shattering the space. There was a divine ring behind it, and a terrifying power swept out with the momentum of thunder. It caused the expression of the devil religion's middle-aged man to change greatly. Stop the devil religion, Qiyishi said. Yin and yang energies flowed, and starlight swept out. It was as if a river of stars had appeared in the sky. The stars rotated and rumbled, and the supreme power behind them was in the sky. Rumble! A series of cries resounded. A huge purple flame demon phoenix and 4 other phoenixes appeared in the sky, as if they covered the sky, and flames rushed into the sky. Among them, a 7-colored phoenix was the most dazzling, and its light was dazzling. Divine rings appeared in the sky one after another. Several waves of supreme being force surged at the same time, making the heavenly sound of the void unendingly rumble and sonorous, shatter the heavenly dome. These terrifying attacks all rushed toward the middle-aged man in gray from the devil religion, launching a fierce attack. Flames and starlight rushed into the sky, and demonic energy and yin and yang energies covered the sky. Bang, 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 energy runes shook in all directions, and the attacks were like lightning, and then the space was constantly shattered. Oh my God! This scene made the creatures in all directions tremble with fear, overwhelmed with shock. Sister Xingxing, let me help you beat him up. On the ground, the little girl who looked like she was 4 or 5 years old was dancing with joy. Her eyes were filled with a bright green light, and an aura that didn't belong to her age was about to join in. Little ancestor, behave yourself. There's no need for you to interfere. A young man held on tightly to the little girl. He was valiant and valiant. He was Chi Jejun from the school of Inyang. He didn't dare to let this little ancestor cause trouble. Along the way, he knew that this little ancestor was capable of causing trouble. Sister Xingxing, you can do it. Mother Zixuan, you can do it. Mother Cici, you can do it. After the little girl helplessly glared at Chi Jejun, she could only cheer from below. In the misty space, golden light fluctuated. Golden talisman patterns condensed into the phantom of a golden-winged roc, and a tyrannical and sharp aura fluctuated. Within the golden light, Du Xiaofu sat cross-legged. Traces of golden light circulated around his body like spiritual snakes. After an unknown period of time, Du Xiaofu withdrew his hand seal, and the golden light around him was absorbed into his body. The shadow of the golden-winged roc behind him also gradually disappeared, turning into a golden light behind him. Phew! Du Xiaofu's face regained its rosy color, and he spat out a mouthful of turbid air from his throat, shaking the void. Du Xiaofu also opened his eyes. A golden light flashed like lightning, and then it returned to its original clarity. Peering into his body, Du Xiaofu felt that the flame spirit's main body was in his Naiwen palace, and that cluster of scarlet-blue flames was spreading out. It wasn't hot, but had turned into a gentle aura. It was slowly absorbing the energy in his primordial spirit and the thunder martial vein. There was also the Xian Qi in the god's watchtower being absorbed, but everything was very slow. Although this slow speed couldn't allow Du Xiaofu to always be at his peak, it didn't cause too much of a problem. Feeling that the flame spirit didn't go back on his words, Du Xiaofu was temporarily relieved. However, he frowned slightly and wasn't very happy. The seal outside the heavenly devil battlefield was getting weaker and weaker, and the experts who could enter were getting stronger and stronger. There were already half-saints who had entered, and perhaps there were Saint Realm experts who had already entered. However, he was still confused about the Saint Realm. This made Du Xiaofu worried. If he met a half-saint, he already had the power to resist, but if he met a true Saint Realm expert, it was far from enough. The Saint Realm was a real gap, and it was the difference between the strong and the weak of all living things. The Venerable Realm and the Domain Realm were the experts in this world, and they were the top existences of the pyramid. However, the Saint Realm was the top existence of the pyramid, and they could really overlook all living things. After seeing the dragons, legalism, school of vertical and horizontal, and those Saint Realm experts in the devil religion, Du Xiaofu was even more eager to take that step. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the capital to contend with those forces. Even if he could resist a half-saint at this moment, it was far from enough. Suddenly, Du Xiaofu frowned slightly, and his figure disappeared from the desolate ancient space. When Du Xiaofu's figure appeared, he was already outside the cave. "Here, third brother is here." A surprised voice was heard, and many figures flew over from the distant void and landed beside Du Xiaofu in a flash. Rock Emperor! President! Smiles appeared on each of their faces. They were none other than Du Yunlong, Du Xiaoman, Dongli Qingqing, Mieming King, Thunderhawk King, Jiangchen, and the others. "Third brother, are you all right?" Du Xiaoman rushed over and checked on Du Xiaofu. Seeing that he was fine, her heart that was hanging in the air finally relaxed. "Big sister, I'm fine." Du Xiaofu smiled faintly. Looking at everyone's tired expressions, he knew they'd been looking for him for a long time. After chatting for a while, Du Xiaofu didn't reveal anything about the fire lightning seed. Instead, he learned that when big sister Du Xiaoman and second brother Du Yunlong had escaped from Long Yi's clutches, in addition to the farmer clan's Mo family's help, they'd also had Jiangchen's help. "Many thanks." Du Xiaofu smiled at Jiangchen. Inwardly, he was shocked. After witnessing this guy's strength, the Golden Growler's true form was truly terrifying. "No need to be so polite. If you really want to thank me, that drop of true dragon blood essence you have is quite useful to me. Just give it to me." Jiangchen raised an eyebrow at Du Xiaofu. "Roar." As soon as Jiangchen spoke, a resplendent golden light poured out of Du Xiaofu's palm, accompanied by auspicious light. It emitted a dragon's roar and a terrifying pressure. "No problem." Du Xiaofu smiled and tossed a drop of blood to Jiangchen. True dragon blood essence was a precious treasure. It was far more valuable than a saint artifact. But to Du Xiaofu, a drop of true dragon blood essence couldn't compare to the value of his family. Jiangchen had helped his eldest sister, Du Xiaoman, and the others. A drop of true dragon blood essence was nothing. Not to mention, it couldn't compare to the special relationship he had with Jiangchen. They were friends but not friends. It was hard to describe. Jiangchen's handsome face was slightly stunned. He knew this guy was stingy. He hadn't expected him to really give him true dragon blood essence. Thank you. I owe you a favor. Jiangchen put away the true dragon blood essence. He didn't refuse, his expression as calm as ever. When they saw Du Xiaofu smile, "How about you join my barren country?" Du Xiaofu and the others couldn't help but laugh inwardly. Filled with anticipation. This guy really was pulling people in the barren country and wherever he could. Definitely gain another powerful expert. Du Yunlong and the rest of the people present knew that the reason why the desolate nation was able to rise up in such a short period of time, other than the rallying power of Demon King Du Xiaofu, the most important factor was his ability to recruit people at any time and place. Not interested. Jiangchen glanced at Du Xiaofu and refused without hesitation. Why don't you reconsider? Du Xiaofu wasn't willing to give up. If he could pull this guy into the barren country, any price would be worth it. No need to consider. Jiangchen couldn't be bothered with Du Xiaofu. He walked off to the side. Sigh. Du Xiaofu sighed. Then he asked everyone about the whereabouts of Ouyang Shuang, Du Xiaoyao, Qi Yeshi, Su Muxin, and his drunkard father. We were separated in the heavenly devil battlefield. It's too big, so I haven't seen them again, Du Yunlong said. Du Xiaofu nodded. The heavenly devil battlefield was huge, but with Du Xiaoyao and his drunkard father's strength, they shouldn't be in too much danger. He was just worried about Ouyang Shuang and Su Muxin. Qi Yeshi should be protected by experts from the school of Yinyang, so Du Xiaofu wasn't too worried. He continued to ask, "Is there any news about little Xingxing?" "I haven't seen him either." Du Xiaoman shook her head. "Is that so?" Du Xiaofu narrowed his eyes. He wasn't worried about little Xingxing. If little Xingxing had entered the heavenly devil battlefield, he should be with the Phoenix clan. He just didn't know how the little Ant Emperor was doing. He hoped that he hadn't let down the old Ant Emperor's trust and that the little Ant Emperor had successfully evolved. Whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, there was the sound of wind being torn apart. Many figures were flying over from afar, arriving from the void. At least there was news about little demon Du, little star, and Qi Yishi. Do you know the whereabouts of Du Xiaoyao, little star, and the others? Du Xiaofu asked Zhou Xiaoluo. He wanted to meet up with little star, Du Xiaoyao, Qi Yishi, and the others so that he could take care of them. You don't need to look for them. I reckon that they've all gone to the eternal tomb. Zhou Xiaoluo seemed to have seen through Du Xiaofu's thoughts and said to Du Xiaofu, "The eternal tomb." Hearing that, Du Xiaofu and Dongli Qingqing's eyes flashed. Have they gone to the eternal tomb? Du Xiaofu lowered his head and pondered. Senior Heavenly Wood Divine Tree had said that there were a total of 4 demon emperors sealed outside. The remaining 5 were completely suppressed in the eternal tomb. At this moment, there were already 4 devil emperor primordial spirits that had broken out of the seal. It was very likely that they would return to the tomb of eternity to assist the other 5. Once the other 5 devil emperor primordial spirits broke out of the seal as well, the 9 devil emperors would all emerge and the great calamity of the world would completely descend. Seeing Du Xiaofu's reaction, Mo Runan was somewhat surprised. Even among the 9 great clans, there were definitely not many people who knew about the eternal tomb. She asked, "You also know about the eternal tomb?" "I've heard a senior mention it before, but I don't know where it is." "I don't know much about it either. Can Miss Mo tell me?" Du Xiaofu took the opportunity to ask. Seeing Mo Runan's reaction, she seemed to know about the eternal tomb. There were still 5 demon emperors sealed inside. Naturally, she would know more about the eternal tomb. "Let me tell you about this." The beautiful leader beside Mo Runan smiled and stepped forward slightly. Looking at Du Xiaofu, there was an uncontrollable fluctuation in her eyes. She said, "There are several secret places in the heavenly devil battlefield, such as the Heavenly Yu Mountain and the Myriad Spirit Burial Domain. But the most mysterious one is the Eternal Tomb. Almost all the ancestors of the 9 great clans are inside. It is said that it was once the battlefield between the dragon god and that mysterious supreme expert against the demon god. The dragon god, the mysterious supreme expert. Such words made Du Xiaofu's heart tremble. That was little Xingxing's father and the lord of the 3,000 vast worlds. The Eternal Tomb was their battlefield against the demon god. If the demon emperors are not dead, then the ancestors of the 9 great clans may not have fallen in the Eternal Tomb. The old man leading the farmer clan looked expectant and his body trembled slightly. Those demon emperors were suppressed in the heavenly devil battlefield. Since the demon emperor's primordial spirits had already emerged, then it was very likely that the ancestors of the farmer clan had not fallen. Du Xiaofu did not speak, but his heart was in turmoil. Those demon emperors had already emerged, and there was also the heavenly wood divine tree. Even ancient experts like Master Hualei had not fallen since ancient times. If there were ancestors of the 9 great clans in the Eternal Tomb, they would definitely be at the Saint Realm. They would not have fallen so easily. His expression kept changing. Du Xiaofu was both happy and worried. Du Xiaofu was happy that if there really were ancient experts of the 9 great clans in the Eternal Tomb, then they would have the power to resist those demon emperors. Du Xiaofu was worried that the school of vertical and horizontal, dragons, and legalism already had Saint Realm experts. Now, there was also the addition of a famous expert. If there was another group of ancient experts, then his days would be even more difficult. Looking at Du Xiaofu, Zhou Xiaoluo's eyebrows moved slightly. Her eyes flashed, and her voice was like the sound of nature. She said softly, "There is another piece of news. I don't know if it is good or bad news for you." "Monsieur, please speak," Du Xiaofu asked. Outside the heavenly devil battlefield, according to the news from the farmer clan, many half-saints have already entered the heavenly devil battlefield, including the half-saints of the school of legalism and school of vertical and horizontal. They should all be searching for the true location of the Eternal Tomb. It is very important and relates to the true fate of the clans. Zhou Xiaoluo smiled helplessly. Her beautiful face was moving. She continued, "In addition, the seal outside the heavenly devil battlefield will completely dissipate in a few days. At that time, the saints will be able to directly enter." What I was worried about really came. Du Xiaofu smiled bitterly. He was worried that the saints would come in. He did not expect it to be so soon. As for the half-saints, one of the dragons had already come. The devil religion had also sent 5 devil envoys. The rest were nowhere to be seen. It turned out that they had all gone to search for the Eternal Tomb. Those devil emperors only broke out of the seal inside the heavenly devil battlefield with their nascent spirits. Their physical bodies are already outside. Although their physical bodies are not at their strongest, they still cannot enter the heavenly devil battlefield because of the seal outside. However, once the seal outside completely dissipates, their physical bodies and nascent spirits will merge into one and recover their full strength. Zhou Xiaoluo's face turned solemn. As the proud daughter of the Nong family, she knew a lot of secrets. Even the ancient ancestors couldn't kill those devil emperors. So, one could imagine how terrifying they would be once they recovered their full strength. Chapter 2026. It's really going to be lively now. Dongli Qingqing smiled. However, everyone could see that the smile on her beautiful face was filled with a kind of seriousness that couldn't be removed. "We'll deal with whatever comes our way. We'll see when the time comes." Du Xiaofu shrugged and asked Zhou Xiaoluo, Mo Runan, and the others, "Do you know where the Tomb of Eternity is?" "We received news from a senior of the Mo family not long ago. The location of the Tomb of Eternity has been roughly confirmed. Du Xiaoyao, little Xingxing, and the others have hurried to the Tomb of Eternity. I think someone must have sent news to them." Mo Runan nodded. She looked at Du Xiaofu and said, "The other clans have probably received news from their experts and are hurrying to the Tomb of Eternity." "We should go to the Tomb of Eternity as well," said Zhou Xiaoluo. "Have all the half-saints gone? Then let's hurry over." Du Xiaofu faced him and spoke. There was anticipation in his eyes, and there was also a wisp of cold light that flashed through them without leaving a trace. Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, Qi Yeshi, and the others had all gone to the Tomb of Eternity. They could meet up with them. Du Xiaofu guessed that the half-saints of the school of legalism, the school of famous, and the school of vertical and horizontal must be near the Tomb of Eternity right now. They could find an opportunity to deal with the saints before they could enter. Otherwise, once the saints and the ancient ancestors of the 9 clans emerged from the Tomb of Eternity, there would be no more opportunities. It would be a huge problem for them. A while later, the vast group of people took to the air and hurried to the Tomb of Eternity. Along the way, Du Xiaofu asked about Sima Muhan from the Mo family. He learned that Sima Muhan, Sima Taxing, and the others were with another group of experts from the Mo family. They should be hurrying to the Tomb of Eternity right now. What worried Du Xiaofu slightly was that his alcoholic father, Ouyang Shuang, and Su Muxin were still unknown. The School of Agriculture and the Mo family had not noticed them either. Maybe they're also heading towards the Eternal Tomb. I didn't receive any news because the people in my race didn't pay attention. Zhou Xiaoluo said to Du Xiaofu. Every clan had their own secret method of transmitting information, but this transmission of information came at a great cost. Usually, only the most important information would be transmitted. Du Xiaofu didn't ask any more questions. He could only go to the Eternal Tomb first. The Heavenly Devil battlefield was still the same. However, for some reason, those demonic beasts became even crazier. Powerful demonic beasts appeared everywhere and attacked the living beings of various races. These demonic beasts were extremely powerful, causing people to be wary of them. It was as if the twists and turns of her life were engraved on it, telling the vicissitudes of life. The silver-haired old woman looked at the 8 people beside her. There was a faint chill in her eyes. Her voice was icy as she continued, "That little bastard Du Xiaofu must die. Otherwise, there will be no end to the future. With his growth speed, I'm afraid that he won't be far from breaking through to the saint stage. At that time, I'm afraid that all of our clans will be exterminated. That bastard is detestable. My clan's disciples have all fallen at his hands. My clan and he cannot exist under the same sky. No matter the price, we must kill him." A thin but extremely tall old man was filled with anger. His cheeks were severely sunken, and his face, which was covered with deep wrinkles, was trembling in anger. "That brat killed my Red Fire Demon Lion Clan's people. He must pay the price." A skinny old man's body shook. He was wearing red clothes. His face was old, but he had a well-built body that was as straight as a pole. There was a fiery and vigorous aura on his body that was extremely frightening and caused one's heart to palpitate. "My Demon Vulture clan is not done with that brat. No matter who it is, he must pay the price for killing my Demon Vulture clan's disciples." Another old woman spoke. On her wrinkled face, she had a hooked nose and a long chin. It was as if 2 hooks were stuck together. This old woman's hair was very eye-catching. Half of it was white and half of it was black. Her skinny body was tightly wrapped in a thick black cloak. Her intimidating eyes made one's soul palpitate just by looking up. "He dared to touch my Heavenly Serpent clan's people. Does that little bastard really think that no one can kill him just because he has the protection of the Golden-Winged Rock clan?" An old man beside the cloaked woman from the Demon Vulture tribe revealed a cold, murderous glint in his eyes. His hair was combed until not a single strand was messy. Strands of silver hair were clearly visible amidst his black hair. Within his slightly sunken eye sockets, a pair of dark brown eyes fluctuated, as though an unusual phenomenon had surfaced. "The Golden-Winged Rock clan won't be able to jump around for long. That little bastard must die, and so must the rest of the barren country's people. Cut the weeds and dig up the roots to prevent future troubles. Leave no one alive." A middle-aged man in battle clothes stepped out. His voice was low, and his eyes were filled with golden light. It was as if there was a dragon's shadow circling in them. His gaze swept across the 8 people, and finally fell on Elder Huang of the Legalism. He said, "Huang Zhu, many people from the Legalism have died at the hands of that little bastard. I wonder what the Legalism's attitude is this time?" Hearing the middle-aged man's words, Elder Huang's expression changed slightly. He already knew everything that had happened in the heavenly devil battlefield. Legalism had lost almost everyone. Among the younger generation, except for Du Xiaojing, there was no one else who could walk out. The legalism had suffered heavy losses, one after another. Back when he was in the school of legalism, he thought that such a young man would be able to look down on everyone even in the primordial era. He was right. In such a short period of time, the young man had already reached such a level. Before they came in, no one in the heavenly devil battlefield could be his opponent. The legalism will naturally advance and retreat with everyone. That brat can't be left alive. Elder Huang said. His voice was calm, but there was a slight fluctuation in his eyes. To be honest, he was somewhat reluctant and regretful to kill that brat. If such a young man could be used by the legalism, it would be a great help. Together with Du Xiaojing, that pair of brother and sister would be enough to make the legalism suppress and prosper in the world. However, at this point, the school of legalism had missed the chance to rope in that kid. Now that things had come to this, the school of legalism had suffered heavy losses one after another. They had reached a point where they had no choice but to get rid of them. If they allowed them to continue growing, none of them would be able to stop them. This was the school of legalism's intention when he entered the heavenly devil battlefield. Horn Dragon, was Shang Long really killed by that brat, or did someone help him? Elder Huang asked the middle-aged man in battle clothes. I received news that it was done by that little bastard alone. He has already reached the pinnacle of the undying realm. The middle-aged man in battle clothes, who was called Horn Dragon, had a cold look in his eyes. Long Yi, Long Air, and the other dragons had lost all their hopes. Shang Long had also lost his dragon soul mark not long ago. There was news that he had been killed by that brat. This kind of loss was not just a serious injury to the dragons, but a great loss to their internal organs. The price was too great. That brat must die, and the desolate country must be eradicated. He already has such strength. Hearing this, everyone's eyes rippled, and their expressions were complicated. Not to mention that it was extremely abnormal for someone at the pinnacle of the undying realm to kill a sage-to-be. Not to mention that the brat had already reached such a level in such a short period of time. It made them, who had cultivated for thousands or even tens of thousands of years, blush with shame. What made their expressions change the most was that if Shang Long Saint was really killed by Du Xiaofu, it undoubtedly proved that the brat already had the strength to kill them. None of them believed that they were much stronger than Shang Long Saint. Chapter 2027. Among the 9 people, an old man and an old woman who had not spoken all this time looked at each other in dismay at this moment. Ripples appeared in their eyes. Scorpio, ground spider, it hasn't been easy for you to cultivate to this level. You should know some secrets of this world. The great calamity of the world is coming again, and no one can resist it. When the time comes, no one will be able to escape. However, some people are exceptions and can escape. If you follow us dragons, you will naturally be able to avoid the calamity. The horned dragon took in the old man and woman's expressions and spoke calmly. His eyes darkened as he said, "The tomb of eternity is about to open. Our ancestors will definitely be able to walk out. Who knows, they might even allow you to take the last step. When the time comes, you can avoid the calamity and step into the saint realm. There is an even wider world waiting for you. Otherwise, it will be difficult to escape the calamity. Therefore, the opportunity now lies in your hands." Hearing the horned dragon's words, the old man's brown eyes flashed. He and the old woman looked at each other, both of them deep in thought. It was indeed not easy for them to cultivate. They had lived for a long time and knew many secrets of this world. Therefore, they had always been in seclusion and did not care about the outside world. When the heavenly devil battlefield opened, they waited to enter. They wanted to seek an opportunity to help them take the last step. Otherwise, even before the great calamity came, their lifespans would be coming. Even if that little bastard relied on the divine lightning cauldron and killed Shang Long, with us together, killing that brat would be as easy as flipping our palms. At that time, what can the golden-winged great rocks do? When our ancestors walk out of the tomb of eternity, the great golden-winged rocks won't be able to jump around for much longer. The horned dragons continued. Hearing this and hearing the 3 words divine thunder cauldron, everyone's eyes lit up. We will naturally advance and retreat together with the dragons. The old man called Scorpio pondered and made a decision after weighing the pros and cons. Hearing Scorpio's words, everyone's eyes were filled with complicated emotions. Scorpio and Ground Spider were not simple. Now that they were walking together with the dragons, it seemed that they had been roped in by the dragons. This was not a good thing for the other factions, but from the looks of it, the more the better. News of the Tomb of Eternity has spread. I believe that little bastard Du Xiaofu will definitely rush over. Those from the desolate country will definitely come as well. This time, we will kill them all. By the roots to kill them all. The horned dragon, dragon. The dragon. The horned dragon sneered. Coldness shot out from the corner of his eyes and his face was sunken. Then, he glanced at old Huang in a seemingly unintentional manner and said, "It's because the school of legalism didn't remove the roots that they got into this mess. We can't make another mistake. Horned dragon, watch your words. My school of legalism has also suffered heavy losses, and many of our disciples have died. Quite a few of your Dragon Clan's disciples were killed by that brat, but that's because your descendants are too weak. It has nothing to do with the school of legalism," Elder Huang said. He looked at the serpent dragon, and his eyes flickered. "Huang Zhu, are you saying that the descendants of legalism are stronger than the descendants of the dragons?" The horned dragon stared at Elder Huang and kept calling him by his name. As a dragon, he had the pride of a dragon. "Our legalism has an innate saint. Dragons can spar with him at any time. However, the 9 descendants of the dragons have all died. I'm afraid you won't be able to find anyone else." The corner of Huang Zhu's mouth twitched. He looked at the horned dragon and said with a faint smile, "However, if you're not convinced, I can exchange a few moves with you. I want to see how far you've progressed over the years and how far you're still from the true sage realm." The horned dragon's expression was ugly. Huang Zhu was rubbing salt on the dragon's wounds. His eyes were gloomy. "Brother Huang Zhu, brother horned dragon, please don't ruin the harmony between the two of you. Our goal this time is to get rid of that great threat." The silver-haired old lady who spoke first spoke. She was afraid that the horned dragon and Huang Zhu would fight. At this moment, the other people also stepped forward to separate the horned dragon and Huang Zhu. They didn't want to have internal strife before getting rid of that scourge. The horned dragon stared at Huang Zhu and said gloomily, "I'm afraid you don't have the strength to fight anymore. You've lived for so long, but you've never stepped into the true saint realm. If you're still alive after the heavenly devil battlefield, I'd like to see how far you've come. I'll keep you company." Huang Zhu's expression was calm, but there were waves in his heart. He was indeed close to the end of his lifespan. If he fought now, it would consume his life force and accelerate the arrival of his lifespan. He had been a half-saint for a long time and lived for a long time. However, he couldn't escape his lifespan. He had been seeking to improve further and step into the true saint realm. That way, he would be able to live again. However, the saint realm was too difficult. He couldn't succeed even if he used all his strength. Therefore, he entered the heavenly devil battlefield this time as the vanguard of legalism. He wanted to find opportunities in the heavenly devil battlefield to improve further and live again. If he failed this time, the end of his lifespan would come. I've heard that the desolate country has many honorable martial artists. We have to kill them all in one fell swoop. Otherwise, they'll be a threat in the future," said a tall, thin elder from the family of famers. The deep wrinkles on his face trembled. Everyone nodded silently when they heard the elder's words. Almost all of the younger generation in their clan had been killed. They no longer had any leading figures. However, the desolate country had many honorable martial artists among the younger generation. There were many geniuses. Even if Du Xiaofu was killed, the desolate country would still be terrifying and cause endless trouble. If another terrifying kid like Du Xiaofu appeared in the desolate country, the various clans wouldn't be able to afford the price. Therefore, They didn't just have to kill that scourge this time. They also had to eradicate the entire desolate country. I've heard that Du Xiaofu's little bastard's father, Du Tingxian, is also a great honorable nirvana. He obtained the inheritance of Jinlei Tensei. He also has a small mutated dragon and a red-bone horse monkey. These three definitely can't be left alive. They have to be eliminated, said the horned dragon. From the information the dragons had received, Du Tingxian and the other two were the most terrifying existences in the desolate country aside from that little bastard. They definitely couldn't be left alive. We also have to be wary of the school of agriculture, the school of Moism, and the school of yin-yang interfering. I've heard that the school of Taoism and the school of Confucianism are also very close to that kid. This time, we better not have any accidents. The silver-haired old lady spoke again. Her eyes were cold. She was from the school of vertical and horizontal. She had been in seclusion all this time in order to advance further. She was only summoned when the heavenly devil battlefield opened this time. She found out about the recent losses the school of vertical and horizontal had suffered. In particular, a few of her direct descendants with extraordinary bloodlines had also met with misfortune. This made her furious and unable to hold back her anger. She was determined to kill that scourge. Chapter 2028. The School of Agriculture, the School of Moism, the School of Yin-Yang, the School of Taoism, and the School of Confucianism are after the Divine Thunder Cauldron. Let's see what plans they have after that brat dies this time. The old man from the famous clan sneered. His eyes flashed with a trace of excitement. That brat had a divine lightning cauldron. When he gathered all 9 cauldrons, it would be extraordinary. The famed scholars had no intention of interfering in the grudge between the dragons, school of vertical and horizontal, legalism, and the desolate nation. But it was different this time. Du Xiaofu had killed the elites of the younger generation of the famed clan and was deeply involved with the remnants of the Fangji clan. The famed clan had no choice but to intervene. However, if they were able to obtain a divine lightning cauldron because of that, it would be of great importance to them. As he thought about it, the old man could not help but become excited. Based on our original plan, this place is the only path to the Tomb of Eternity. Just to be safe, we will wait here and kill whoever comes. The horned dragon spoke. Murderous intent poured out of his eyes without hiding it. On Huang Zhu's aged face, there was a slight fluctuation in his gaze. He sighed inwardly. A junior who should have made contributions to legalism would probably not be able to escape this time. The huge canyon was filled with dense white fog that covered the sky. Lightning flashed back and forth, occasionally converging into thunderbolts that shuttled back and forth in the thick white fog before mysteriously disappearing. There were many people standing on top of the canyon. The 3 women at the front were the most shocking. One of them was a woman dressed in tight clothing. Her long and slender legs, tight buttocks, and slender waist outlined a perfect and seductive curve. Her devilish figure and peerless beauty combined in one body was enough to move one's soul. Beside the well-dressed woman, there was another woman. Whether it was her temperament or appearance, she was not much inferior to the former. Her eyes seemed to be misty, and her long skirt outlined a graceful arc. Her temperament was elegant and slightly charming. The third woman wasn't very old. She was graceful, slender and elegant. She was devastatingly beautiful, enough to stun the world. These 3 women were none other than Ouyang Shuang, whom Du Xiaofu had been worried about. Beside her were Yi Zijin and Dai Xingyu. Behind the 3 women were several Du family disciples. Among them were Du Gui, Du Chong, and a few others, as well as Gui Che, Violent Bear King, Silver-Winged Devil Condor, and many others. This place is unusual. Don't get too close. I'll be right back. A voice rang out. Above the thick white fog in the canyon, there was a figure floating in the air with a straight back as lightning arcs shuttled back and forth. It was a handsome middle-aged man who stood in the air like a spear. His black hair draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were deep and sharp. Uncle Tingxian, be careful, Yi Zijin said to the middle-aged man. Her expression was grave. There were dangers everywhere in the heavenly devil battlefield, and she was worried. All right. The middle-aged man nodded his head. Who else could it be other than Du Tingxian? As his voice fell, his hair fluttered, and his body faintly emitted the cries of dragons and snakes. He leaped into the thick white fog. Crackle! Suddenly, lightning shuttled back and forth in the white fog. In the air above the canyon, dense lightning bolts appeared and intertwined. The entire canyon seemed to have suddenly changed. A terrifying aura erupted, and the energy of heaven and earth surged wildly. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Ouyang Shuang, Yi Zijin, Dai Xingyu, and the silver-winged devil condor all frowned. It's indeed strange. Du Tingxian raised his eyebrows. He was already prepared. Lightning erupted from his body, and a lightning armor covered his body with a rumbling sound. Covered in lightning armor, Du Tingxian was not afraid of the lightning in the air. He even devoured the rampaging lightning bolts. Open for me! With a loud shout, Du Tingxian shook his arm, and a wave of energy swept out, dispersing the thick white fog in the air. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out. Inside the canyon, as the white mist dispersed, energy suddenly erupted. An incomparably blazing lightning rune surged out, emitting a dazzling light. It was as if a small lake of lightning was surging. Then, to Du Tingxuan's astonishment, he saw a plant take root in the center of the dazzling lake of lightning. It was purple and pulsed with electric arcs. It had a total of 7 leaves. The 7 leaves set off a crystalline lotus flower in full bloom. It was as if it had been carved from the world's most perfect purple spiritual jade. It was magnificent and natural. However, the purple electric arcs that emanated from the lotus flower were enough to make one's primordial spirit tremble. 9 transformations divine Lei Lian. No, it's only 7 transformations. 7 transformations divine Lei Lian. Du Tingxian was shocked. He had received the inheritance of his master, Jinlei Tensei, and also obtained the 2 treasures of Jinlei Tensei. The 3rd treasure, the 9 transformations divine Lei Lian, had always been in the hands of his son, Du Xiaofu. At this moment, the 9 transformations divine Lei Lian in front of him was a rare 9 transformations divine Lei Lian. Although it was only at the 7th transformations, its value was immeasurable. It would turn into the 9th transformation sooner or later. On the 7 transformations divine Lei Lian, electric arcs rippled like blooming petals, swallowing the energy of heaven and earth around it. The electric arcs crackled and finally erupted with endless power of thunder, turning into a strange lightning beast that pounced directly at Du Tingxian. So it's this rare treasure. This trip was not in vain. Du Tingxian made his move. He formed a hand seal, releasing electric arcs, and threw a punch. Rumble, thunder rumbled. Du Tingxuan's punch was filled with killing intent. It was like the sovereign of thunder, and it directly blasted the strange lightning beast to pieces. Chi Lala, the 7 transformations divine Lei Lian spun, stirring up a lake of lightning. Huge waves rose and fell like a tsunami of lightning, sweeping towards Du Tingxian with overwhelming force. That flower is a rare treasure. It's extremely terrifying. Even overlords won't be able to obtain it, Dai Xingyu said as he gazed at the lightning flower from afar. Although he didn't know what rare treasure it was, he was certain that it was priceless. It was a great opportunity for lightning cultivators. However, the rare treasure was extremely powerful and contained lightning. Even overlords wouldn't be able to obtain it if they encountered it. Rumble, terrifying waves of thunder and lightning swept towards Du Tingxian. In Du Tingxuan's eyes, purple arcs of lightning shot out. The thunder armor on his body suddenly bloomed with thunder and lightning. His thunder martial veins covered his body, and a murderous aura surged through the air. Rolling lightning swept over, but Du Tingxian ignored it. He passed through the sea of lightning and appeared before the 7 transformations divine Lei Lian. The 7 transformations divine Lei Lian seemed to have a spirit. It seemed to have sensed something. Space cracked amidst the ripples of lightning as it tried to tear through space and escape. You can't escape. Seal. Du Tingxian shouted in a deep voice. As he formed a seal with his hands, His thunder martial vein erupted. Mysterious purple lightning talismans covered the entire area. Killing chi permeated the air. It didn't carry any killing intent, but it displayed the majesty of creation and the righteousness of heaven and earth. Rumble, purple lightning swept across the sky, punishing all living things as it enveloped the 7 transformations divine Lei Lian. We might encounter various factions ahead. The desolate state has many enemies. Once we are in danger, act according to the situation. After all, you won't be able to help. That the disciples was the they on the they was. The mountains and rivers were connected, and the mountains stood tall. Bush. Spatial ripples appeared in the sky. Scorching heat waves surged as several figures flew across the sky. Oh, there were elderly experts riding on demonic beast mounts. There were also many figures flying in the sky, emitting powerful auras. The surrounding living beings quickly retreated, not daring to get close. Leading the way were 4 blazing fire luans pulling an ancient carriage inscribed with talisman runes. Their bodies were wrapped in rolling flames. Everywhere they passed, white smoke would spread. Scorching heat swept across the land. It's the Phoenix race. And the Inyang school. That's strange. Why would the Phoenix race be with the Inyang school? It seems like the rumors are true. All the major forces are heading to the Tomb of Eternity. Let's follow them. We can't miss them. Looking at the group of people passing by, the living beings in the distance were astonished and discussed among themselves. Clang, clang, clang. The phoenix carriage sped along, the flames fluctuating. The rainbow-colored ornaments on the curtains tinkled. The seemingly small ancient carriage was extremely spacious. At this moment, several figures were sitting inside. Apart from a little girl who was about 10 years old and a little girl who was about 3 or 4 years old, there were also 4 stunning women and 2 valiant young men. These people were naturally Zi Xian, Huang Linge, Huang Wu, Feng Chu, Feng Han, Qi Shi, and little Xingxing from the Phoenix race. Those demon emperor primordial spirits have broken free one after another. I wonder where Dad is now. He must enter the Tower of Eternity. That's his last chance, little Xingxing said. His young and tender face had an aged air that didn't match his age. News of the Tower of Eternity has spread. With his personality, he will definitely go there, Zi Xian said. Her voice was like the sound of nature. I'm so happy. I can finally see my dad. The little girl was very excited. Her face was full of smiles. I hope he won't be frightened. Qi Yishi smiled and stroked the little girl's hair. In the carriage, everyone smiled knowingly. That guy hadn't married yet, but he already had 2 daughters. Both of them were terrifying existences. It was said that Du Tingxian, Du Xiaoyao, and several other descendants of the Du family were all extremely talented. Who would dare to provoke such a family? In the void, there were chaotic spatial ripples all around, forming a storm. That's right, it's me. Huang Zhu's expression was calm. His eyes fell on Du Xiaoyao. Other than the phantom and bloodvine spirit, he did not look at anyone else. Legalism, dragons, and school of vertical and horizontal. 9 half-saints. It seems like they came prepared. Du Xiaoyao sneered. It was not the first time he had come into contact with school of vertical and horizontal and dragons. He recognized their auras. Legalism, dragons, school of vertical and horizontal, and 9 other half-saints. Such a lineup was not small. They had definitely come prepared. 9 half-saints. When these words landed in the ears of Phantom, Bloodvine Spirit, and the people behind them, they all gasped. Mo Fei sucked in a breath of cold air, and his divine soul could not help but tremble. No matter what, the desolate country is destined to be destroyed. Let's start with you. The horned dragon sneered and stared at Du Xiaoyao. He was the one who had attacked earlier, but he did not have the upper hand. At the moment, his expression did not look good. You're not weak. However, if the 9 of you want to touch the desolate country, I'm afraid it's far from enough. Du Xiaoyao said. He looked relaxed, but his heart was heavy. If he was alone, it was unknown whether these 9 people could really kill him. However, there were still many people present. The Phantom, Bloodvine Spirit, and the others did not have the strength to contend with these half-saints. This made Du Xiaoyao worried. Do you really think a small desolate country can be so presumptuous in this world? The horned dragon stared at Du Xiaoyao and said in a cold tone. Du Xiaoyao suddenly raised her head and looked at the void beside her. A faint smile appeared on her face. Only then did she look at the horned dragon again. She slowed down and said indifferently, I can't be bothered to interfere with the big worm of the dragon clan. Naturally, someone will take care of you. What do you mean? The horned dragon stared at Du Xiaoyao and asked in surprise. What he means is that he wants me to take care of you. The dragons these days are really not making any progress. A childish voice suddenly rang out from the side of the sky. At the same time, the crown prince, the horned dragon, the Scorpio earth spider, and the others all looked in the direction of the voice. Whoosh, there was the sound of wind breaking. A golden light flickered in the empty space, and a petite figure appeared in the air. The newcomer was a little girl about 10 years old. She wore a red dress with starry patterns flashing on it. Her blue-black hair was tied up in a ponytail behind her small head. However, on her pink and chubby face, there was a golden brilliance in the depths of her eyes. In particular, there was a vertical rune mark between her eyebrows, which added a bit of evilness to her noble temperament. The appearance of such a small figure carried a terrifying supreme aura for no reason. The horned dragon, the Scorpio earth spider, and the others immediately raised their heads and looked carefully. Little Xingxing. When they saw the small figure, the phantom, the bloodvine, and the others' serious expressions immediately revealed a trace of joy. Who else could it be but little Xingxing? The newcomer was little Xingxing. The instant the horned dragon and Du Xiaoyao clashed, she sensed the auras of Du Xiaoyao and the dragons. She immediately rushed over. When she saw the 9 figures floating in front of her, her chubby face immediately darkened. Where did this little girl come from? Don't you want to go home and drink milk? Do you want to die? The horned dragon's eyes twitched as he looked at little Xingxing. Such a little girl actually dared to speak so arrogantly. She actually didn't put him and the dragons in her eyes. This little girl is that mutated dragon. Huang Zhu looked at little Xingxing and said to the horned dragon. He had seen little Xingxing outside of legalism. Little Xingxing looked at Huang Zhu with a meaningful gaze and said in a deep voice, Old thing, it's your legalism again. How hateful. The heavens are really helping me. I didn't expect another one to come. That saves me a lot of effort. The horned dragon immediately laughed loudly. Other than Du Xiaofu, there were 3 other dragons in the desolate country that he had to kill. 2 of them had come at once, and it was the mutated dragon that the dragons wanted to kill. How could he not be happy? Chapter 2033. Facing Horned Dragon's threat, Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian were clearly not to be trifled with. If you dare touch my clan's juniors, then I'll kill all of your clan's juniors. No one will benefit from it. Faced with Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian's determination, Horned Dragon, Huang Zhu, Shi Wu, and the others knew very well that no matter how many people died in a battle between the same generation, each clan could only accept their fate. However, if they really touched the juniors of the Phoenix clan and Yinyang school with their status, then the consequences would be unimaginable. When the time came, the top experts of the Yinyang school and Phoenix clan would slaughter their juniors in a frenzy. It would not be just empty words. Huang Zhu, Gongsun Qichong, you two stop Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian. The others quickly finish off the Redbone Horse Monkey and Yi Long. Horned Dragon transmitted. No matter what, they had to kill the Redbone Horse Monkey and Yi Long today. They had gathered here to wait, so they could not let go of such an excellent opportunity so easily. Even if Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian came, they would not be able to stop them. The Redbone Horse Monkey and Yi Long were not simple, but now that it was 9 against 4, they had an absolute advantage. Moreover, Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian only needed to be delayed. The ones they really wanted to kill were the Redbone Horse Monkey and Yi Long. Their auras surged, and the gazes of the 9 people changed. They stared at Feng Fenshin, Qi Xingqian, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, and the others. They had to quickly take action and finish off 2 of the 3 people they needed to take care of, other than Du Xiaofu. Feeling the auras of Huang Zhu, Gongsun Qichong, and the others, Feng Fenshin and Qi Xingqian's expressions darkened. Their auras also surged out in an instant. Dazzling runes and surging auras quietly froze the void. Do it! Horned Dragon could no longer hold back. His dragon's might spread, and there was a faint dragon's roar. He wanted to personally finish off Little Xingxing. Another expert is coming! However, all of a sudden, Huang Zhu's expression changed. A complicated expression appeared on his aged face. He could sense that an expert was approaching. The other party was very strong, otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to escape his detection. He wouldn't have only noticed them when they arrived. At the same time, Horned Dragon and the others felt the powerful aura. Their expressions changed. They raised their heads and vigilantly looked into the distance. Boom! The blue dome of heaven trembled, and a vast wave of energy swept through the world, shaking the earth. In an instant, the sky was covered with golden symbols, illuminating all directions. It was as if a deity was descending. Ants, Esodus the others and the others. Their souls twos. Chapter 2036. Just as Qi Xingqian, Feng Fenshin, and the others had expected, Du Xiaofu didn't plan to fight 1 against 9, but after sensing the auras of Little Xingxing and Du Xiaoyao, he decided to fight 3 against 9. It wasn't difficult for Du Xiaofu to know that the dragons and the school of vertical and horizontal had repeatedly attacked the desolate country because they didn't have any true experts. Even if they knew about the relationship between the desolate country and the golden-winged rock clan, as well as the school of Yinyang, the school of agriculture, and the school of Moism, they didn't have too many misgivings. At the end of the day, one's own strength was true strength. Any protection was only temporary. At this moment, Du Xiaofu wanted to intimidate the 9 half-sages in one go, thoroughly intimidate them. The desolate country needed to truly intimidate the world. Otherwise, it would be difficult for the desolate country to truly gain a foothold in the world. Then take your time. When he heard Du Xiaofu's words, Jiangchen no longer paid any attention to Du Xiaofu. He assumed a posture of watching the show. What a pity! Du Xiaofu smiled faintly, then glanced sideways at Huang Zhujiao and the others. His expression instantly darkened. Before coming to the Tomb of Eternity, Du Xiaofu had already guessed that the half-saints of the legalism, the school of famous, and the school of vertical and horizontal would be near the Tomb of Eternity. Originally, Du Xiaofu had planned to take advantage of the fact that the Sage Realm experts hadn't yet entered to find an opportunity to deal with these half-saints. Otherwise, once the Sage Realm experts entered or the ancient ancestors of the 9 great families emerged from the Tomb of Eternity, he wouldn't have another chance. He'd be in big trouble. However, Du Xiaofu hadn't expected that the dragons would have a half-saint. They'd even formed an alliance with the School of Legalism and the other 9 half-saints. 9 half-saints was already a terrifying force. Du Xiaoyao, little Xingxing, how many can you deal with? Du Xiaofu asked Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing as he swept his gaze over Huang Zhujiao, Horned Dragon, and the others. I can kill at least 2. That mixed blood dragon, Old Snake, and little Xingxing's gaze swept over Horned Dragon and Silent Snake. Then I'll leave Old Snake and Mixed Blood to you. Du Xiaofu said to little Xingxing. Although he knew that little Xingxing's abnormal cultivation speed and talent had reached an extremely shocking level, Du Xiaofu did not dare to let little Xingxing take too much risk. I can kill 2. Stopping 3 is not a problem. Du Xiaoyao raised her eyes and said to Du Xiaofu. Then you can pick 2. Du Xiaofu said. Du Xiaoyao looked at Du Xiaofu. Her golden eyes flickered. There were still 5 half-saints left. Du Xiaofu's gaze swept over the 9 figures and nodded. Then leave these 2 to me. When little Xingxing attacked again, Du Xiaoyao's figure also crossed the void. Her arms trembled like 2 dragons emerging from the sea. Her left and right fists blasted toward Ho Shi and Jiao Ying. Du Xiaoyao took the initiative to attack in a 1 versus 2 situation. Her fists were wrapped in dazzling golden light. It was like an exploding sun, pushing out in all directions and suppressing everything. It was as if she wanted to burst the souls of all living things. Boom, boom. Ho Shi and Jiao Ying erupted with all their strength without holding back. They had already sensed the strength of the red-bone horse monkey. At this moment, they used all their strength. Their auras reached the peak, accompanied by saintly might. Mysterious runes covered the runes, and the light burned like divine flames. There was no doubt that Ho Shi and Jiao Ying didn't dare to be careless when facing Du Xiaoyao. They used all their strength and pushed their combat strength to the limit. They wanted to resist Du Xiaoyao with all their strength, but they also wanted to kill Du Xiaoyao. Jiao Ying and Ho Shi didn't believe that they could be defeated in a 2 versus 1 situation. They were confident that they could deal with the red-bone horse monkey. This was the confidence of a half-saint. Come! Ho Shi shouted. Flames overflowed into the sky, accompanied by saintly might. They merged into one and erupted with terrifying fluctuations. Jiao Ying attacked. His sharp aura was intimidating. Light shone in all directions, and pitch-black cracks filled the void. The 2 collided at the same time. Du Xiaoyao's fists exploded with astonishing muffled sounds. Rumble! The sound waves were sonorous and deafening. Runes and energy spread out in all directions. Everything was beyond Jiao Ying's and Ho Shi's expectations. They didn't gain the slightest advantage and were directly pushed back. Du Xiaoyao's body only swayed slightly. Bang! At the same time, Shimo's body was also pushed back. The soles of his feet shattered the void. Astonishment and shock climbed up his face. So strong! Looking at the scene in front of them, many people opened their mouths and eyes wide. Du Xiaoyao and little Xingxing both had the upper hand in a 1 versus 2 situation. This was too unbelievable. The most shocked were Qi Xingchen and Feng Fenshen. They knew the strength of Jiao Long and the other 3, which was why they were the most shocked. What kind of strength was it to have the upper hand against 2 half-saints at the same time? Du Xiaofu stood in the void. His black hair danced in the wind, and his purple robe fluttered in the wind. Golden light was released from his eyes like golden lightning. It was dazzling and intimidating. At this moment, the invisible aura on Du Xiaofu's body was domineering and fierce. The golden wings of the rock spread, and golden light soared into the sky. He carried a domineering will, like a real rock in human form. Chapter 2038. Gongsun Yuan, Huang Zhu, Scorpio, and Ground Spider originally wanted to observe the situation after seeing Gongsun Qichang make a move. However, they didn't expect such an outcome. After a moment of shock, the 4 of them rushed out at the same time with murderous intent. Attack with all your might, or you'll be in big trouble. Gong Sun Yuang's voice was sharp and filled with killing intent. Her old face was cold, and a blazing flame was emitted from her body. It contained the profound meaning of fire and burned the void. The Earth Spider and Scorpio had no way out. Whether they killed Du Xiaofu or not, they knew that the two of them would have a tough time in the future. However, based on the current situation, they had no choice but to release the arrow. Scorpio and Ground Spider attacked. Energy condensed, and an energy pillar pierced through the void, sweeping across the sky with the roar of a beast. Huang Zhu's eyes rippled. He was shocked to see Gong Sun Qichang being killed with his own eyes. Such a junior's growth speed could only be described as heaven-defying. Perhaps after a while, legalism wouldn't be able to stop his footsteps. At that time, the fate of legalism would come to an end. Roar! Huang Zhu attacked. His aura was monstrous, mixed with the roar of a beast. It erupted with resplendent light. That kind of power was much stronger than Gong Sun Yuang and Scorpio. The four half-step saints attacked at the same time. There was an invisible tacit understanding between them. They connected head to tail and pounced on Du Xiaofu. Rumble! This kind of siege caused the universe to explode. Light flared, and energy shook the heavens and earth, causing a frenzy in the void. Everyone's hearts trembled, and they couldn't help but tremble. This kind of power could destroy everything. It was too terrifying. Du Xiaofu also moved. Without any delay, the golden wings on his back flapped. Together with the wave-treading free step, his figure turned into a flash of lightning. His body erupted with resplendent light. Amidst the intertwining flames, electric arcs swept out, and thunder rumbled. His target was Gong Sun Yuang. Gong Sun Yuang wasn't careless. Gong Sun Qichang was killed in one move. She didn't think she was stronger than Gong Sun Qichang. Gong Sun Yuang was also very clear about Du Xiaofu's goal. That brat knew he couldn't fight 1 against 4, so he probably wanted to take her by surprise like how he took care of Gong Sun Qichang. Gong Sun Yuang wouldn't let him do as he wished. She had cultivated for so long and had experienced in countless dangerous situations. She had plenty of combat experience. How could she be fooled? Come, little bastard. Gong Sun Yuang. Gong Sun Yuang. Sun Yuang, S. Gong Sun Yu. Her, Gong Sun Qichang's 3 divine rings. Golden flames erupted from its small body, and it transformed into its true form, occupying the void. The dragon was covered in scarlet gold, and it spread its wings like a phoenix. The dragon's scales on its body rippled with starlight, and the 10 divine halos behind it were dazzling and resplendent. Boom! Boom! Little Xingxing's true form was activated, and the heaven and earth rumbled. The firmament trembled, and a supreme aura spread, suppressing the heaven and earth. This kind of terrifying aura made all the beast souls tremble. Their bodies went limp, and they prostrated themselves. Kill! Little Xingxing's true form flapped its wings. Accompanied by the burning of golden flames, the wind and clouds in the void suddenly changed, and the heaven and earth trembled. It caused the heaven and earth to resonate with the heaven and earth. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.